Hey everyone, this is the Snake383. Welcome back to Megaman Legends. Last time, we defused some bombs that a surfbot dropped around the city, entered a skating contest, donated some more art, and also took out the pillars underneath the Lake Jun subgate. There are only a couple of more side quests that we need to finish up before we enter the subgate in the Klotzer Woods. First, we're going to start off by giving Roll a present. Remember that music box that we won in the skating race earlier? It can be given to Roll as a present. While it doesn't do much, it provides a neat little Easter egg. It changes the music in Roll's room. Again, I wanted to be nice, because, as always, if you just give a negative answer like, I'm a fast runner, she'll just keep saying the same thing over and over and over. If you try looking for the music box inside Roll's room, it's going to be really well hidden, because you can't see it. It's not shown like a normal item would be. It's practically invisible. This next side quest that we're going to do is actually really easily missed if you're playing this game for the first time. That is, unless you've accustomed to inspecting every single thing in the game with the circle button. Just enter the hospital and go to the waiting room area. Now, just a little heads up, this is going to be a fine example of PS1 era voice acting.
Are you from another island? I wish I could go places too. But just you wait and see. Once my leg gets better, I'm gonna go all over. The nurse tells me that if I keep working hard with the rehabilitation, my leg will get better in no time. Why don't you come over to my room sometime and tell me stories about where you've been? It's so boring just staying in my room by myself all day.
It's just gonna get a whole lot worse from here on out. But after you've talked with Ira, just go talk to the nurse at the desk, and you'll be able to enter a room. Then talk to the nurse inside the room. Yes, this is very tedious. Once you've talked with the nurse in Ira's room, another option will open up if you go back to the mayor's office and talk with her again. And that's exactly what we're going to go do. But check this out. Once you enter City Hall, you'll see a surfbot inside, just strolling around without any fear at all of being arrested or apprehended. Welcome to Cadillac's Island. Illegal immigrants and terrorists, welcome! Anyways, if you go inside the mayor's office and talk to her, there's going to be three options that'll appear. The second one, which is basically going to summarize the plot thus far. It's nothing special, but it is an interesting feature inside the game, considering that this is heavily influenced by anime, as if you couldn't already tell by the graphics. Don't worry about the legendary disaster or the pirates. We're going to be seeing a lot of clues that'll hint to that later on. But here's something that boggles my brain. Apparently the mayor can't gather enough funds to upgrade the hospital's operating equipment. Thus, I guess we can imply that the hospital is government-owned. It's not like the mayor can't raise taxes. She just has to rely on Megaman to do the job. It's not like there's a legislative branch or an executive branch that has a higher authority than hers.
Hey, Megaman! Look! Look, I can walk again! The nurse told me that you bought them a machine that fixed my leg. Thank you. Here, this is for you.
You're gonna love this next bit. Remember the Gatling part that we picked up earlier? We can use that with a flower pearl to create a new Buster part. Yes, I know. It's lovely how an act of charity creates a weapon of mass destruction. Believe it or not, the Gatling part is actually very, very useful. It'll increase your attack and rapid by 1 point, but it will also increase your energy by 4 points, making it a very useful Buster part. And it's one that I suggest that you equip as well. You know, should Capcom ever make another Mega Man Legends game, I think that they ought to make the Buster fully customizable, and maybe do away with the extra arm attachments. They are pretty cool, but it's kind of a bit weird to see Mega Man have 2 guns on his arms. But anyway, feel free to replace either Power Blaster L or Power Blaster R with the Gatling gun part. I recommend that you replace Power Blaster L with a Gatling gun part. Next, we're gonna go find the rest of the vacuum cleaner parts. Inspect the box outside of the electronics store and you'll find the broken cleaner. No, that electronics store has the worst policy ever on broken parts. They just place them right outside their store in a box. Don't even take the time to dump them out in the trash. Like I said, around halfway in the game is when I go get the rest of the vacuum cleaner parts. Because you're gonna do a lot of grinding for money, especially with some upcoming weapons that we're gonna create. I decided to show off this little Easter egg right here. This girl wanting to make cool games like Resident Evil. Well, then she'll have to make the voice acting and dialogue really cheesy and terrible. References to Jill sandwiches and all. I'm a bit surprised at how this game is self-aware of Capcom's other franchises. Right next to the hospital, you'll find 2 trash cans. One contains money, and the other contains the last part to the vacuum cleaner. The broken propeller. Compared to other useless weapons like the grenade arm, and possibly the grand grenade, the vacuum arm is worth upgrading. It'll only cost you 10,000 zenny to completely max it out. The vacuum arm will come in handy when you're grinding for money. Especially when you're sniping enemy Reaver bots from afar, and wanting to gather money from a far distance away, just to be on the safe side. Upgrading the energy will cost you only 1,000 zenny. And that's pretty much it. You don't need 1 million zenny to completely max it out. The most expensive thing to upgrade on the vacuum arm is the special, otherwise known as the suction speed. It'll cost you 8,000 zenny to max it out. But you'll be happy once you have it all maxed out. It's a utility that's worth investing in. Right about this time, Jim and his game should have finished building their clubhouse. For being so patient, they'll let you take home one of their trophies. The first of which creates a very useless item, unless you're a wussy and very terrible at this game. The first prize they'll let you take home is a Marwolf shell. You can use this and the Mystic Orb to create another useless weapon attachment, the shield arm. It's not worth investing money in upgrades. And it just wouldn't be a clubhouse without a picture of some hot anime chick, now would it? But completing the clubhouse opens up a whole new slew of side quests. Mainly just some random odds and ends for the Clubhouse members. If you just go straight across from where the Clubhouse is, you'll be able to find a comic book. I think in the Japanese version of Mega Man Legends, it's known as a dirty magazine. Take the comic book back to Jim and he'll trade it for a very cool item. The X-Buster. Nope, sorry X-fanboys, you cannot use that as a weapon. Actually, you technically can, but you use it to create another very powerful weapon. Actually, it's used to create the most powerful weapon in the game, and also the most broken weapon ever. Next, go to the northern field north of the Clubhouse, walk up to this tree, and reach down and grab this beetle. Why would he want a beetle? Well, who knows? He'll trade you some broken circuits, which may seem useless at first, but they're used to create the most powerful buster part ever. We're not going to be able to build it until much later. Right here I decided to stock up on some parts for the upcoming segment. Because if you've been following this guide, then you're definitely going to need a hyper cartridge and a couple of extra packs. Just to be on the safe side. Next, go to the plains right next to the first sub-gate that we entered, and you'll find a beetle running around in the fields. But check this out. Had this game been completely immersive, I so would have kicked this girl off the balcony. I know, I'm a terrible person. But I think she, like, has ADD or something. Or just thinks too much that she just goes up random places. Like, walks up walls or something. But if you trade the normal beetle, you'll get the old heater. It's nothing more than another item that's a donation for the museum. It'll at least get us one step towards acquiring another part necessary to create the most powerful weapon in the game. But let me reiterate this. Whatever you do, do not upgrade the shield arm. Because it is useless, unless you suck at this game.
That's a funny looking thing you've got there. It looks like a hibachi or something. Maybe they use it in the dungeons when it gets cold. Why don't we call it a fire pot and put it on display? Thank you so much! I bet there are a lot of people who'll come to see this.
And here's your fire pot. What a useless piece of scrap metal. Just beyond the eastern door inside downtown is the door that'll lead you to the old city. The old city doesn't have anything of interest, really, except for a couple of areas that are close to the final area of the game. But it's still worth checking out. And yes, the final area of the game is the main gate. Although we don't have access to the main gate, we can still explore the area around it. The old city also contains the only place where you can abuse animals. These dogs will keep on attacking you, so just give them a very good kick, and they'll leave you alone. It can be a bit hard to time your kicks correctly so you don't get damaged when the dog attacks you. Also, you can't even go inside any of the old abandoned buildings. Not even the power plant, which is supposedly still running. But at least you can jump on top of it. But that's just about it. This is the only place where the game will immerse you in the old city. But this is it for the old city. Just go to the southern exit inside the old city, and you'll be taken to the area of the main gate. There's at least one thing of interest here. It's not necessary to complete the game, but it's still a pretty cool Easter egg. This guy right here is quite possibly the most derpiest person in the game. Like, are the sub-gates connected to the main gate? That's a mystery. Anyways, the Easter egg I wanted to show you here is that you can take one of these cats back with you. You can also abuse them in the Japanese version, but why in the world would you want to do that? You can't take any of these other cats with you, just only the one that's next to the main gate. But you want to know what the funny thing is? The cat you take with you doesn't even show up in the sequel. But another cool thing of taking the cat back to the Flutter is that it'll eventually have kittens sometime later. And finally, you're going to get to hear the music box in action. The song you just heard is Nocturne Opus 9 No. 2 by Frédéric Chopin, one of the greatest composers of the Romantic era. But that's enough for today. Stay tuned for the next part, when we take to the skies once again and fly to the subgate in the Klotzer Woods, the place that Teaselbahn dug up. See you guys later!